Hello, welcome back to Ones of the Force, a Star Wars podcast. I'm Phil, of course. I'm joined as usual by my friends or idiots or whatever you call these people, Dave and George. Hello, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, good evening. You're all right?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So looking forward to talking some Star Wars this evening because it's been quite a light couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was literally before we came on, and George and I were just saying how little there is to kind of talk about. So we might actually, if you guys might have a quick show tonight. It might not be the full one that we would normally get, but yeah, I mean, it's good. There's still some news out there, but it is thinning out a little bit at the moment.
Unless we get our usual breaking news coming in at probably the next 15-20 minutes. Yeah.
There was even news during the Rogue One commentary. That's how cursed we are with news.
Yeah, we can never do a show without there being live breaking news, which we're okay with, but means that all my planning goes out of the window. I have to factor in to allow for live news to break. But yeah, so quite light on news this evening. Well, it's a light show in general because Rebels Recap is non-existent anymore until September, sadly. Well, we've got a few things to talk about this evening, a few controversies and all the rest of it, hence why this episode is called You Want to Know If I Know More Retro Hive of Scum and Villainy. So we'll start off with the news of Kylo Ren's Starship has leaked. Now, from the side and from the back is what we've kind of got from the official toy leak, and it looks, well, it's an official toy leak. It's someone's managed to leak a picture of it, but it's kind of looks like a cross between a TIE Interceptor and a TIE Advance. I think it looks absolutely wicked.
I liked it, but when I first saw it, I messaged you like, "Is this a spoiler?" And you're like, "Nope, it's Hot Wheels." I was like, "Oh, that's on then." Yeah, it looks very Star Warsy, and I mean, the one thing I was, it's nice to see a new ship because listen, I love Rogue One, not Rogue One. I love The Force Awakens, but it is true that there was nothing new about that film in terms of the. You know, in terms of the ships and stuff like that, there was the only really new thing was BB-8. That's what I think. And
Kylo Ren's Starship as well, his Upsilon class shuttle.
Yeah, but in terms of like the broad spectrum of stuff, and you know, when it was that air battle, it was just look, TIE fighters versus X-wings, yay! And now it's like look, something awesome. This is going to stand out, and it's going to be really nice to see other things in battle. And you know, if he's anything like his granddad or his uncle. Or his dad, he's going to be an exceptional pilot. So I'm very interested, and I hope that he's using it properly for some good scenes. But yeah, when you said it looks like so many Star Wars things that it's great. Because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it looks like a cross between a TIE Interceptor and a Vulture droid, and it looks, you can pick a load of ships, even TIE bombers a bit on there.
It fits in for me personally. It's kind of TIE Interceptor meets TIE Advanced. Because you've got the back coming around, and you've got the wings with 4 aerials and all the rest of it. So I reckon it looks badass though. I can't wait to see it in action.
And with him being the villain, it makes sense to be like the sort of TIE Advance because, you know, oh look, Granddad had a special ship, maybe I'll have one too.
Yeah, cool.
I love that. He had a special ship. I want a special ship.
Hey, to be fair, so did his dad. His dad had a Falcon.
True, they're all custom made. He's sat in the Falcon, and they decided to get rid of it. But we'll talk about that later on.
Actually, to be fair, yes, that is one of the things I will be talking about. But yeah, no, I thought it was quite cool. I thought I agree with you. It looks very Star Wars, but that's a good thing. Yeah, as you said, we only had really the shuttle and kind of the new look Star Destroyer when it came down to The Force Awakens. And when it came down to Rogue One, there wasn't much they could add, but they actually added the U-wing. I thought the U-wing looked really cool, along with what else do I think of? The TIE Striker as well. So at least with that, they had 2 new ships. So I think it's like
the Krennic Mobile.
And the Krennic Mobile, which I do love.
Mobile, yeah.
But I do love how, I love the way it looks. But I think it also is either going to be just his starship, or it could just be the new TIE Interceptor, and he can still get his own. And Battlefront 2 did confirm when they did the panel at Celebration Orlando that there was going to be a new First Order vehicle in it, and I reckon this could be it.
Yeah,
either that, or it could be some sort of additional fighter to go along with it.
Yeah, what they said, it's being built. We'll talk about this later on because we've kind of got to talk about it later. But on the pre-order bonus, it kind of matches. So for every sort of a hero attribute, there's a villain attribute on the pre-orders, and it says in a hero you've got the Millennium Falcon, and they're now bidding the First Order one as First Order hero ship. which is probably going to be this, because if it's Rey versus Kylo in the marketing, then it's obviously going to be Rey versus Kylo spaceships too. But we'll find out in the next couple of months about all that. And we've got even more to say later on Battlefront 2 as well.
Indeed, we'll get onto that bit. So the next one we've got to talk about is Brien Johnson did an awesome May the 4th video when he was in the editing studio. Was it Sound Studio talking with, because he was there getting the John Williams score, down for episode 8. I thought it was quite cool because a couple of years ago we had J.J. Abrams also do a May the 4th video. It was Daisy Ridley shooting one on set of the Resistance base. I thought that was kind of cool. So he's kind of mirrored that and done his own sort of May the 4th video and things as well. And what was interesting though is then on top of that, they also released this interview with Brien Johnson talking about how he got J.J. Abrams to change the end of The Force Awakens for him.
It's so because I mean, literally, it's one thing that he wanted to change in the script because he felt it made more sense that because originally, I guess it's out there that originally it was going to be BB-8 who travelled with Rey and Chewie to meet Luke, and Brien Johnson was like, I really need that to be R2-D2, please. And thankfully, I mean, because the other day it's JJ's film, and although they want to tie it up, he didn't probably have to say, I'll change that for you. Because it's his script at the end of the day. It's him and Larry Kazan. So I'm guessing they could have kept it their way, but it's nice that Brien was like, that for me needs to be R2-D2 to go see Luke. And he was like, all right, we'll change that. I'm guessing even if it hadn't, they could have changed that really in the day, because for the amount of time you actually see them outside the Falcon when they landed, it's literally seconds. So it probably wouldn't have been an easy digital fix as well. But yeah, I'm glad it's R2 rather than BB-8 that's travelled. It makes much more sense.
It would have made sense if Rey had BB-8 with her in terms of how they met on Jakku and things. However, it makes far more sense for BB-8 to be with Poe and R2 to go with Luke. That's the way it really should be. So it does make more sense in that way. It makes more thematic sense. It wouldn't have mattered either way, but in terms of it would make sense if BB-8 went along. But I think for the story-wise, and I think for also nostalgia sake, to have R2 go along with Luke just makes so much more sense. And it looks cool. Again, we had the flashback and everything, so you kind of needed to be there. So I reckon that looked kind of cool. It was interesting just to see how they're working together to create a proper linear plotline with this as well. Because at the end of the day, as you're saying, it was JJ's film, but Brien Johnson, his film picks up literally exactly after episode 7 finishes off. Now, unlike previous films where there's been a gap of a few years or many years, here it is literally bang straight afterwards. So to have it knitting together is kind of quite important. So to have that kind of going on was kind of cool.
George, you think on the change?
When I saw it, I was like, get in. I was like, because it would have made sense for BB-8 to go from a marketing standpoint that, look, Rey's a BB-8, blah, blah, blah. But R2 was with Luke when the Jedi Temple got annihilated. That was in the second trailer for Force Awakens. And, BB-8's Poe's Poe's droid. BB-8 goes straight to Poe when he gets back. I don't think he sees Rey again until the end from when he gets back at the base. And, keep BB-8 with Poe, keep R2 with Luke, pass it down to, Chewie's there as well. It makes sense for Chewie to have R2 as well, given their history. And it's a nicer change. It's nice to R2 who was shunned aside for The Force Awakens. And I know he wasn't in that trailer, but I hope he's got a bigger role as such in Episode 8 because, he's one of my favourite characters.
Oh, I hope so. He was in Episode 7 for all of 2 minutes, maybe more.
If that, yeah.
Yeah. And although it was good that he was in it, he was just there to conveniently have the maps kind of stored. It was... Yeah, we wanted more from R2, and it's good to see. So it'll be nice to see him do more in #LastDeez with Luke.
On the upside, it does carry on the thing that literally R2 knows everything.
Yeah.
From the start of the story, R2 could literally be writing this later down when we finish the last 8 episodes, and then R2 just closes the big book at the end of it.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just a hologram just kind of finishes up, and it's just a little R2, like little droids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? I wouldn't be mad. But so that was kind of cool to see that kind of. And then, so then we're going to get on to the first of our kind of controversial stories this evening. So Hasbro had the fan vote up. Now, George knows a little bit more about this than I do, so I'll let him kind of talk you through what happened. But the fan vote for the latest fan figure went up live. Hasbro kind of screwed the ball on this one. Now, this is for their new vintage line on this one. So I'll let George kind of explain more on this one.
Yeah, so the Hasbro, I think we spoke about last time, but the Hasbro fan vote went up. They announced it was going to be this year, not for Black Series, but for the vintage figures when they get relaunched next year, the 3.75-inch ones, as Dave loves. And they decided to do something very bizarre, I think, in the build-up to the vote, saying, you vote for the people you want in a shortlist on these 17 or 30 sites. I can't remember specifically which ones.
17.
Was it 17? And then the 17 will give Hasbro their highest voted people. So the highest voted 6 figures will go into our official Hasbro votes. And then you can vote on, StarWars.com to find out who will make it. And what happened is it was coming out everywhere. Ben Skywalker annihilated the polls left, right, and center on top of the 17 websites. Several websites made statements saying that we don't think he's canon, so only us are going to, delete him from this. But he still came top on about 14 other ones. And then the actual vote itself came. And there was like 3 characters out of the 6, because what happened is someone got together all 17 websites and they got their announced highest ones, the 6. And they worked out the official list of 6. Only 3 of them made it to the Hasbro list. Excluding it were Ben Skywalker, who's a Legends character, you could say now. I believe the 2 sisters from the Cantina. And there was, I think, there was something else which is I've forgotten about already. Oh, sorry, from Clone Wars, from the Amazing Story arc.
Oh,
the 4
it's
rounds.
the droid, isn't it?
Oh, Ponkrell.
Yeah, that's the one.
For the Embargo War,
yes,
the War on Embargo, which is my favourite arc of all time. From the Clone Wars, that's my favourite arc of all. But yes, Ponkrell.
Yeah, so he was, throughout these 6, and the other 3 I think were Dr. Aphra, and the other 2 made onto the list of 6. So their weapons.
Dr. Aphra was that, and it was 5s and Palpatine.
Palpatine, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anyone would have voted Palpatine anyway, because he's already been done to death. But anyway, what happened? They got the 6, and then from the first minute, people were complaining, saying we didn't want. Everyone knows Ben Skywalker was going to win this. Why isn't he on the list? He won all the other votes, blah, blah, blah. But then the other issues have been that from the first minute, the percentages have apparently been the same. And across I think, is it 3 days of voting now? It needs to be a couple of weeks of voting. You'd see figures go up or down or something like that, but everything stayed the same. And apparently Dr. Aphra was on 29% from the first minute. Someone needs to fact check that, but Dr. Aphra's percentage didn't change and she won. And essentially it's, everyone's saying this was so obviously fixed for them to get Dr. Aphra as this figure. Myself, I'm not too fussed. The Ben Skywalker thing, honestly, I could not care less. I think it's wrong that the fans were denied their choices. However, every time they do a van vote, I'm sick of a Legends character winning it because they aren't part of canon. Don't waste a figure on them. Yes, I understand people like it, but get with the days. You're wasting on canonical characters who we would like to see, who should be made. But, why didn't Hasbro release a statement saying, sorry, we're not accepting Legends characters? Because I think, Jada Solo won it last year, or Mara Jade? Or they both?
No, that was the year before, because last year was... No, yeah, it was last year, because the year before was Revan.
Yeah, and again, another Legends character. But I think it's wrong of Hasbro's corruption and not coming out saying, should have said from the get-go, but to take all these 17 companies and lie, dodgy business. And that, explains some of the title. But
there's also accusations of hacking on the other the third-party websites.
Yeah, so there was out on the third-party ones, but they're one of the websites that disqualified the Ben Skywalkers. But it's all just a malarkey. Just do what they did last time. Come up with 6 figures, and go and do a 2-week thing before Comic-Con. Don't rush to do it because it was May the 4th.
It seems crazy. I mean, Hasbro have got these. They've got the license, and they've done a fairly good job. Some of the sculpts, there's some issues sometimes, and obviously over here in the United Kingdom, it really is. The releases that we get here are quite ridiculous. It's very hard for us to get full waves of things.
So
And
it's
I know it's
sporadic.
already been announced that I know Toys R Us have said that they will not be getting in with 2 of the 40th anniversary Black Series figures, and just not going to have them at all. So there's something that you're going to have to get online. So therefore, maybe pay more than you would have in store, which seems crazy. But we seem to get shafted, to be honest, a little bit with our figure releases. Certainly here in the UK, it's a tough one. I think Hasbro really could do more to help out. And one of the things they've said, especially about this Black Series, is that there's not the interest for the release the next wave, which is just insane for the amount of people who are grabbing to try and get these figures. Especially people who, like myself. I mean, I decided recently that my collection, I'm going to start really bringing it down. I'm going to basically concentrate on vintage carded things, so the Gentle Giant vintage carded, the big ones, the 40th anniversary, and any of the vintage collection they've already brought out previously. And it's just tough as a collector, I think, when they do these things and put things out that you vote for, you see which figure you want on there, but they've already got in mind. They've probably already got the prototype of the one they wanted to run done. It's that kind of thing. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's sad when companies that they didn't need to do it. They've got the fans there to do what they want. If they wanted to do, like for example, Dr. Aphra won this one. Now I'm very happy with that in terms of because I love Dr. Aphra. I love the Vader comics. I love the character. So I'm personally happy that she won. However, if they wanted her from the start, then why not just do it? Announce that figure and then do a fan vote for something else. Why rig something? It's not fair. It's not fun. It just shows, unfortunately, it's corrupt. It's not fun. It's tarnishing the fan vote for next year because people are going to say, what's the point in voting? Because you're just going to screw us over anyway. You're going to give us what you want, not what we want. And that's not what Hasbro need. I mean, they have a complete control on the market for Star Wars figures. We have Hot Wheels doing the cars, but in terms of your actual figures, you have Hasbro, or you go to something like Sideshow Collectibles or Hot Toys to get the really high-end figures, or you go to Bandai to get kits. But for a normal everyday action figure or a high-end action figure, you have to go to Hasbro. There's no ifs, buts, no other parties because of licensing. So we get shot, as you said, Dave, we get absolutely shafted on it, and it is sad. So when they do something like this, they just lose respect from us, from the fans. And they ended up getting moaned about by us here on the internet. But yes, that's our news because that's it. Oh no! There's one more bit on the news. I forgot this. So, if you've been watching our Facebook page recently, you will notice there has been a brand new documentary released online called Building R2. We have an exclusive interview with the creator on Friday. George, do you want to talk more about this?
Thank you. Yeah. So last Thursday on Star Wars Day.
Exclusive rights to this.
I know. I wonder why. There's so many other channels that were interested, apparently. And yeah, so I made this documentary. And cut a long story short, I've enjoyed it. It's been fun, and it's done a heck of a lot better than I ever anticipated it could have done. I'm not an arrogant person, but I don't think I expected 1,400 views in less than a week, which is truly shell-shocked me. And a lot of people have been asking questions and stuff, so I thought, I'll do an interview on it. I thought it'd be good to do an interview on it, good at PR stuff, keep getting the name out. And I thought, well, why not do it on a Star Wars podcast? Coincidentally, I am on a Star Wars podcast, so yeah. On Friday, you two guys are going to be interviewing me. I'm essentially going in blindsided by the questions, and I'm going to be talking a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, planning how I came up with the idea to future stuff I've got planned for the documentary, which could be very interesting. So for anyone that hasn't seen it, I'm not forcing you to go and watch a documentary, but take a look, see what you think. There's, I won't lie, there's an amazing marketing campaign on Facebook for it. I'm so arrogant for saying that, but I've designed vintage trading cards for it, which have been one of the highlights of the couple of months marketing. But yeah, I'll be doing an interview on here on Friday. We don't know what time yet. We think it's the morning. But I will be talking about my documentary and announcing some maybe very cool things to come from it. So have a look. Yeah.
I was going to add to that. I mean, yeah, I sat down and it's like, what, 20?
It's 21 minutes. I will say, I'll give you a teaser. I've got 95 minutes of footage. that was taken down to 21. That was not an easy task. That's like almost a teaser for what I'm going to be saying on Friday.
If you're a fan of
Director's
what we
Cut.
do, if you're a fan of Star Wars, honestly, it's really worthwhile your time. 21 minutes, it's less than an episode of something you'd watch on television. And if you're interested in Star Wars, and especially if you ever thought about looking at people who build droids, it's really good. I don't really go into much more because we will be talking a lot more about it when we do it on Friday. So yeah, I think we should leave it now. But Friday, please, we will be announcing the time shortly. I would expect it to be morning because I've only got a half day from work, so definitely. But yeah, so we'll announce something a little bit later. Well, not later, it's Wednesday already. Tomorrow we'll probably have our time up for what we will be on. And yeah, we'll have some deep and probing questions for George, I'm sure.
Indeed. Yeah, so after we finish tonight's episode, go watch it. Links will be in the description down below. Go check out the Facebook page as well. We'll have some questions for George. We'll get it all sourced out, and it's one of those things that you know what, I'll say it now before we do go on, just to kind of inflate George's ego just a little bit further. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I was going into it going, well, yeah, we'll check out from it. It seems like it's bloody good. Go check it out. Really, it's well worth a watch. If you're watching us, you like Star Wars. If you want to watch that, you'll love it. If you like watching us, you'll like watching that. And also, you get to see more of awesome R2. You get to see more droids. How can you not love that? Anyway, sorry, Dave.
I was going to say, if you do want any questions that you would like posed from ourselves, please leave them on our Facebook, or once this video goes,
we'll do a post on the Facebook.
We'll do a
post on the Facebook page. We'll put up there saying if you got any questions, leave a comment down below. We'll get your questions, we'll get our questions, and George will then have to think on the spot, and it'll be fun. So yes, that's the end of the news for us. And we're gonna, unfortunately, there's no Rebels recap this week until September. There'll be no Rebels recap, which sucks. However, we have more stuff. So Star Wars, just a quick little one here. There are now excerpts of Guardians of the Whills and Rebels Rising on StarWars.com. If you want to check out those books, go ahead and check them out. I will be getting both of them, especially Guardians of the Whills, because I want a Chirrut-based buddy comedy movie, because I think that would be brilliant.
Yeah, I think they're both out in America now, and as usual, the UK has got shunned on the book, and we get in June according to Amazon and Waterstones. That's our retailers over here, for those that don't know anything about books. But yeah, there are excerpts. I haven't read them. I'm very excited for Guardians of the Whills. I think most people will be. And when I finish Thrawn, I will start going for Guardians of the Whills, because I like both of them. And it's kind of made me think, I'm surprised you actually got the Thrawn on time. I'm actually kind of shell-shocked now. I've seen how much this was delayed.
And hopefully our Thrawn review will be coming not long in the future, because I've now got my copy. So I
need to get mine. Yes, I'll get mine soon enough, and we can all get cracking on that. Excuse me.
I was going to say, yeah. I think Phil had fingers crossed that a Thrawn book was coming in his Star Wars Celebration box.
We'll get onto that for Toy Sheld in a second. I might as well talk about it. Oh, so yeah, we'll move on to Toy Sheld and talk about getting shafted. Oh, this episode. So, if you guys haven't seen it yet, head on to the channel and watch Actually, before we do that, also go and check out Dave's Madame Tussauds video. It's a cracking video. But yes, so I put up a video of my my Star Wars Celebration box. I was really excited. These guys wanted me to get up there as soon as possible, so I filmed it with my phone. I didn't even go through usual channels to get my camera set up and editing it all nicely. I went, right, so I put the phone up, get it recorded. And I am now using one of the 3 nice things from that box. Without putting too much spoilers into it, my God. For an £85 box...
let's spoil it.
I've got stuff to say on this. Like, I've been taking the mick out of you as a joke. And the reason why is we had a conversation a month ago, and it was literally, I'm either going to laugh at you, Phil, or I'm going to be crying at what you've got. And... yeah. Normally with these, I call them Z boxes, but Nerdblock do them.
There's a bunch of companies that do them, yeah.
Yeah, loads of companies do them. And Nerdblock's the most famous one, a Star Wars Celebration exclusive box and confirmed lanyard. And I thought, okay, 85 quid for me was a lot, so I didn't go for it. However, you did, which was the test. But
yes.
No, you weren't stupid though, because every single time you see one of these things, you get at least at least one pop Funko, some exclusive stuff, some awesome stuff. I was like,
to be fair, it's pretty damn cool.
Wait, yeah, exactly. That's one of 3. But the issue that got me most is normally these boxes are like 40, 45 quid, and 85 was a big jump. And I was there like, okay, maybe if the world's mental, he'll get a Black Series figure. But I'd still expect some really cool stuff for 85, because normally, you spend 40 and you get like 100 quid's worth. So if you're spending 85, you might get, 100, 150's worth. And you literally got like... It's a shame, because it's not just you that got shafted, but it hurts more, because as funny as it is to me, it is quite sad, because again, into the theme of this episode of Scum, we can put Nerdblock on there now and the Celebration store. They gave you an oven mitt.
The cool stuff there. The T-shirt is beautiful. It really
T-shirt is awesome.
The
T-shirt's great.
The T-shirt. If to describe it to those of you who are listening in, or to anyone out there, really, it's the, if who hasn't seen the thumbnail of the video, the T-shirt is the Star Wars Celebration artwork, and it is beautiful. It's really nice, and the lanyard that again also comes after it. That's really cool. It's the Yavin medal, lanyard, and that's solid as well. It's not hollow. It's actually solid. It's chunky. Good. And the third thing is the awesome Star Wars Celebration mug. Now, my mum was a bit annoyed because she keeps saying, please don't buy any more mugs, and I got 2 last year, and now I've got 1 from this year. But it's got the cool 40th anniversary logo on it, as well as the Star Wars Celebration logo. Now, that was all the good stuff. An oven mitt. Really? Now, yes, it's Ponda Baba's arm, and yes, it's got the Star Wars Celebration logo. It's kind of cool, but at the same time, an oven mitt. Really? Are you kidding me? An oven mitt. Now, in the video, I'm a little less kind of angry about this, but now I can be more honest here. Really? Are you kidding me? An inflatable Death Star beach ball. Like, oh. Now, maybe if I go to the Maldives, I can pretend I'm on Scarif, but really, come on. And then a little beanie stormtrooper. It's not even a full stormtrooper. It's a little hacky sack. It's like, wow, I got screwed on this. Now, I feel bad because Adele, my co-host over at the Bucket Monsters, my other half, I really wanted it. She knew I couldn't afford it. She's like, tell you what, you'd love it to me. I'll tell you what, I'll pay for half of it. I'll get you as a half present. Oh, thank you, love. That's awesome. I'm going to say she bought me like the oven mitt and the beach ball and the hacky sack, and I would have bought the T-shirt, the mug, and the lanyard. There's 7 items in there. I'm trying to remember what the 7th one is now.
The pins as well. The pins are
actually, okay, the pins are cool because it's Leia, Sabine, and Rey. Okay, those are cool. Yeah, those do go for quite a bit. So, okay, I'm happy with the pins. But, really? I got screwed.
I think when you add up the stuff that you would have actually thought, the worst thing is that beach ball and the other mitt come across as what we had left from Celebration that we can give out to so many people that we didn't get rid of at the convention.
Yep.
The lanyard, I love the design of the Avon medal on it. I think that is awesome. I really, really like that. It's an official T-shirt. It's the official mugs. So that's great. Yeah. And those pins are obviously exclusive at the time at the convention, and they do go for quite a bit more on eBay, especially after the closing weeks after Celebration. But I still don't think with all those together, that is £85 worth of stuff. I really don't.
I heard that at Celebration, the other mitt was being sold for $30.
What?
And I know that in America, they had tax on at the till. So $30 was probably actually 35-ish or something like that. I thought it was a disgrace, and I want to see that box set. I was making fun before because I thought he's actually going to get some amazing stuff, and I thought he's at least going to get a Funko or two. But I was certain there'd be a pop in there.
And what happened? I'll tell you what, for me, the worst bit is, though, I've got to say, before you finish, I've got to say one thing. The worst bit for me is they started making fun of me. So I got my dispatch email. I said to the message to the guys, I've got my dispatch email comic. The guy's like, don't watch any videos on it. Like, no spoilers. Like, I said to them, is it worth the money? They went, no spoilers here. I'm like, really? And before we did our Rogue One commentary, I said, it should be here tomorrow. And they were like, I was like sweating, but really, is it that bad?
George and I had a conversation on the side of this on Messenger, and I sent him the classic Ralph Wiggum picture where Lisa and Bart showing him this is the actual moment you can see his heart break.
Yeah,
just that. But I just think, it's the thing. Star Wars fans are going to want everything that's in this, and they're just not worth the money that you spent it. And to be honest, yes, when you first ordered it, it was like, I wish I could have ordered it because there's probably going to be something in there. I'm glad I didn't. I do love that. So the lanyard and the T-shirt, I think they're exceptional. But outside of that, that's I would have been disappointed as well. So I really would have. On the upside, you got today your Obi-Wan Kenobi San Diego Comic-Con figure.
Yes. Now that's a being a toy shelf. A1 Toys did a May the 4th sale over the weekend, and George kind of pointed it out to
I
us.
got shafted on that too.
Yes! Speaking of saving money!
Only by 20 quid. So, so what's happening? Everyone knows there's San Diego Comic Con exclusives. They do eventually come to England, and A1 Toys have had the last 2 years of them. Sorry, they're the 2015 Stormtrooper and the 2016 Ben Kenobi. I ordered my Ben Kenobi in October for 40 quid, and then I saw it on the sale the other day, and I thought I messaged you guys like, "Come on, guys!"
45, which was the retail price.
Yeah, but it was going for 60-ish online, and they put the price up to 60 as well shortly after I bought it, which probably meant they had not much stock left. And I bought that back then. This is great. I've wanted this. This was a bomb last year. And then I messaged you guys. I said, guys, they're doing a big force, sale. They've got this for 30 quid. Go for it. And then the Kylo Ren lightsaber for 100 quid. Brilliant. I didn't get that because I couldn't. But there's some amazing May the 4th sales, which we'll go on about because Dave's got something to show as well. But for me, a week ago, I bought the San Diego Comic Con Stormtrooper for 35 quid. 3 days later, it was reduced to £15. I mean, I'm not.
That's less than
I'm
a
not too
normal
fast.
series figure.
But because it was the normal exclusive, because I'd been after exclusive and didn't know how long it was going to be there, I went for it as soon as I got paid. And in hindsight, yes, I should have waited. But there are worse things that could have happened. But I'm just happy I've got one now because that wasn't exclusive I was after.
I literally got it with about 2 hours before it went back up because I went on Facebook onto a Black Series group and I put it on there, and I put it in a few groups just putting the word out that it was on there. And a guy messaged me saying, I've tried to go on, it's full price when I got the basket, even though it's still showing $29.99 on the website. But by midnight, that deal was done. It was about the full price. I think it's back to $59.99 now, I believe.
Yeah, that's full price, yeah.
So it was crazy. I'm so glad I got in when I did, because I would have been devastated had I missed out on that. But it's been delivered, but it's at my neighbour's house and he's not here, so I can't pick it up yet.
Do you know what's funny? I've actually got a funny story to go along with being shafted this week. This week is just not fun. So, my mate and I, actually, Robin, you would have seen him if you watched our Rebels panel that we did from Celebration. Now, he and I on the Sunday ordered it, not exactly at the same time, because I ordered it a little later in the day, but again, Adele bought it for me. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. But yeah, so he bought it in the morning, I bought it in the evening. We bought it the same day. We got the dispatch email on the same day. We got the out for delivery this morning. He got his at 12:30. I got mine at 5. And I'm just sat there for 4.5 hours pushing in, going, mine's not here. Where the hell is it? We live 2 minutes from each other. And it took 4.5 hours to get extra to get here. So really, it's not cool, man. Oh. So yes,
great. But what a bargain to get! And I mean, let's think of that as a happy toy to get over this time.
Oh, it does the full speech. How can you not love it? It's amazing. So yes, I love it to pieces. So yes, so that was that. And yes, so then that's. Sorry, yes.
I was going to say, while we're on May the 4th deals, should we just go for the big one?
Yeah, we'll go for the big one. Go on, man, George.
Dave, take it away.
Yes, so May the 4th was a great day if you're a collector of Lego. All week there'd been a 10% discount on a lot of Star Wars items over the week, starting from Monday going through. And every day they were releasing one set at 40% discount. And that went through the week. There was some okay sets in there, but nothing that I've rushed out and bought. May the 4th, however, the Millennium Falcon was dropped down from £140 in store to $83.99, which was itself superb. I never saw that big a ship being included in this. And then you were still allowed to use your points if you had them on the Lego VIP card. So from £140, I got my Lego Millennium Falcon at £79 something pence with discounts. And I mean, to get that set for mainly less than half price, came with an exclusive mini R2 build as well. So what a deal. I mean, as soon as I got it, I put it out on all my Instagrams and Twitter. I just wanted people, if they'd wanted it, it was the time to go out and get it. I believe Tesco also dropped it to £81 for the day. Just obviously that's the kind of thing they do to try and catch a few people in there as well. But what an offer. It was such a good deal. I can't wait to get it built. I'll be putting a big time-lapse video eventually when I start to do that, but I need a night to sit and do it. So
like
over the moon. Yeah, a bit like a UCS R2, but yeah, I'm really looking forward. I've already gone through the thing and pulled the figures out because I had them out.
Might as well give you a little plug on that one to go onto the Life of Brien and watch his UCS R2 build. It's a really good video. But anyway, sorry, Dave, continue.
No, yeah. So I was really that was my point, just to say what an amazing deal from Lego. They don't often do big sales where Lego know their value. Lego know how well their sets hold value and gain value. To drop 40% off such a big set, bravo, Lego. Well played. Got me to spend my money, and very, very happy.
To be fair, Dave, they have to drop £5 off, and you'd be like, "Yep, buy it." It's like, sorry, Dave. So you like all that money? No, you go buy it anyway. We know this. We all would. If I could afford it, I would have gone and bought it. But yes, so that was the Lego May the 4th sale. But they also released on May the 4th. They released the new UCS Lego Snow Speeder or Air Speeder. Again, controversial episode. Which is it, the Air Speeder or Snow Speeder? George.
Yeah, I saw this. So I was on Facebook, and I'm Lego VIP, so I'd known for a while it was sold at Celebration, and then it was going to go to Lego on May the 4th, and then it would hit shops after that. And I just saw, the adverts pop up on Facebook, so everyone commenting abuse, and I was like, hey, it's only a Lego. And they were moaning that because it's a Snow Speeder, it's a Snow Speeder to 99.99% of people. It's on the box, UCS Snow Speeder. When you build it, in a lot of these special sort of Lego collector ones they do, you kind of get a tag. Yeah, a plaque, and they've put the T168 Air Speed or something like that. Essentially, what they've done, they've put the canonical name on it, but a lot of Star Wars fans don't know that it's actually called an Air Speeder and the details. And they essentially were kicking off at Lego saying, "Don't advertise something as a Snow Speeder and write Air Speeder on the finished thing because it's a Snow Speeder to me and it's going to say Air Speeder." Blah blah blah. Again, very petty, but. What's wrong with calling it a Snow Speeder?
It's extremely petty, but it's they could have had a plaque in there. But, it looks cool.
The second one.
It does look wicked though.
Well, if I had 180 quid to spend on a Lego, Slave One would go. The Snow Speeder, it's meant to be good, but there's been a lot of complaints because the Snow Speeder has been released a few times before, and they're saying for 1,000 pieces, it's quite small. You've got people questioning actually if there's 1,000 pieces, stuff like that. Whereas you look at the Slave One, it's gigantic, and that's a proper build.
To be fair, if I could only buy one Lego set, I'd go buy the Death Star.
Oh yeah, but that's the Death Star I want 600 quid. The Death Star 2. But oh god, we could talk about Lego for so long.
Yes, we could.
We'll do a special episode on that at some point. We'll do a special Cantina episode. So I've got a friend of mine who is majorly into Lego, and he'll know all the exclusive sets. So Robin, get your research out because we're going to need you at some point. So yes, that's that. And also then finally previewed on StarWars.com was the new blind box by Funko, the Mystery Minis set they've got. Kind of these mystery blind bags for the mini bobbleheads they're doing. They've got quite a few up there. They've got like Greedo and Thrawn and Qui-Gon, and a few other, basically kind of a lot of the Star Wars figures you can already get in the larger regular size Funko Pops, I should say. You can now get a mini blind box kind of thing. I was looking at that actually on Stars.com. That looks kind of cool. I think they're going to be about $3.99 a piece, something like that. I can't remember the exact price of previewing it at. But yes, another little thing. Another thing, unfortunately, we'll probably end up getting loads of. But yes. Again, that was something else that they've previewed. So that was all for Toy Shop. I don't think there's anything else on that one.
Yeah, just the GameStop released the stolen email or wherever they got the list from.
Yes. Force Friday, the day where everyone's money disappears.
Especially ours.
And then it's one of probably the 4 days of the year for Star Wars fans actually money disappears. You've obviously got May the 4th, Force Friday, the Christmas shop. Yeah, exactly. And GameStop have an employee has leaked an email they were sent for Force Friday, and coded on it. It says all the normal list. It's got some stuff like Darth Vader Black Series anniversary, stuff like that. It's a very bog standard email. It's one that works in retail. It's either the best Photoshop I've ever seen, or he's written himself. But it's very legit. It's got sort of SKU numbers on, stuff like that, barcodes and all that jazz. Not barcodes, but the codes. And what gets intriguing is it says BLK6 for Black Series 6-inch, and it's a EP8 followed by a name. and there are 3 names that titled under episode 8, and they've all got code names. It's like Foxtrot, Victor with Throne, and another very obvious coded name. And essentially, that's saying on Force Friday, there's going to be these 4 Black Series figures coming out for episode 8. There's a 5th name on there which has been coded, but everyone's worked out that is Thrawn because he's been announced for Force Friday, and it's the only other name missing. It doesn't say episode 8; it just says Star Wars Black Series 6-inch. But yeah, the talk is this character Victor. He's being sold on himself. He's also being sold for $20 more with a throne. And obviously, everyone's worked out, wait, if he's going to be by himself, if he's going to be on the throne as well, then it's 90% chance that's going to be Supreme Leader Snoke. But yeah, obviously, it still could be fake, but everyone's guessing. They reckon one figure's Luke, one figure could be Rey. Phil made a good point earlier, says one figure could be Rose, but yeah, Force Friday is confirming the obvious, but a bit more detail on the Black Series figures we're getting that day.
Indeed. So yes, that is Toy Sheld. Then moving on to games. Star Wars Puzzle Droid is now out. I don't like games like that. They kind of Candy Crush kind of style puzzle games. It really does not entertain me. However, for those of you who enjoy that and like Star Wars, that is now out there with some cool content. They did it for the May the 4th. They did a bunch of exclusives on their games. So, for example, on Force Arena, which we all love, they had the Ralph McQuarrie, Luke, and Vader, which are beautiful. They had the R2 on Galaxy of Heroes, and they had a bunch of exclusive sets come out on the Topps Card Trader app. I can't remember if there's anything else that's come out at all. I think
so. Something for the Old Republic, but I don't play it, so I wouldn't know.
I do play Republic, but I play it on and off, so I can't remember exactly what it was. But yes, so that was that. And then we'll get into now our Battlefront 2 kind of thing. So first up, Kylo Ren and Rey have had their Episode 8 outfits revealed. Because you could, as a pre-order bonus, is what we'll talk about earlier with Kylo Ren's ship, you can now get Episode 8 characters. So they've revealed the full Rey outfit, the one that we see half on the art of the #LastSeas box that we're getting later in the year. And Kylo Ren's kind of like a bit more like Vader in this one with the actual proper full-on cloak instead of his half cloak, half kind of tunic he's got in Episode 7, yeah. And then, of course, for the other... So, yeah, go on, George, yeah?
I was just going to say, yeah, the costumes leaked. For anyone that's cared, they had a bit more details. Nothing really new in terms of pre-order bonuses, but it was just a promotional image. So they've got the all clear from Lucasfilm to obviously release that picture. But yeah, I think that's mainly for Battlefront. Nothing new on the pre-order side. We'll be keeping you updated on everything Battlefront 2.
Well, one thing that did surprise me about it, actually. Sorry, I was about to say, the one thing that did surprise me about the Kylo Ren, the scar on his face doesn't stop as high as I thought it would. It's all just on his cheek and down. I honestly thought she'd caught him right to the top of the head. Yeah. Apparently not.
Well, Ryan Johnson moved over from the side to
angles
from the middle to the side just to kind of make it look more aesthetically pleasing. But so that's an error that, although it's going to look like a movie mistake, it's not going to be a movie mistake. It's Ryan Johnson very kind of categorically moving it over. But yes, the other bit is the announcement that Battlefront 2 is going to have 3 times more content at launch than Battlefield 1. So Battlefront 1, that's something that you brought up, George.
Yeah, so I saw this. This is kind of last night they've said this. There's 2 things to know about this. They haven't made it clear. Is it 3 times as much than the launcher of Battlefront 1 or 3 times as much as launch at the end of Battlefront 1? I'm personally going to go the end of Battlefront 1 because the launch for Battlefront was awful. And if it's just 3 times the amount, then it means that it's actually the same amount, but for each era. That's the way I've seen it. But I think they're not done. It's going to be 3 times the amount compared to the end of Battlefront. So that's 7 heroes, 7 planets. And, I definitely see there being a lot more because they've already showed us Jeddah. They've showed us Camino. They're showing us a whole range of planets. They've confirmed them left, right, center.
B1 battle droid. That's makes me happy.
It's going to be humongous at launch, and I cannot wait. I've got my pre-order ready. I've got this special edition where it comes 3 days earlier. But I order it off a website. I'll tell you shop2.net that always give you an extra day earlier, so I should be getting Battlefront 4 days before. However, I'm scared my PS4's on the verge of breaking, so maybe I'll be upgrading to any potential Battlefront console they want to announce very quickly, please, because it's going to break any day now.
Yeah. Well, we're getting it from my trusty old gaming laptop here. Yes, I think that's it for the games until we move on to something that I'm very interested in. Now, Fantasy Flight Games over the weekend had their Star Wars World Championships. Now, for those of you who don't know too much about the world of tabletop gaming, something that I love and adore, tabletop gaming for Fantasy Flight Games is their specialty. They do a load of stuff, and they do so much Star Wars specific games that and it's so popular they've moved the World Championships. They split it in half, so that Star Wars have got their own weekend, and that happened the weekend just gone. And I was watching the live stream for the X-Wing Top 16. I couldn't watch the rest of the other 4 days of it because I was busy. Life gets in the way. However, I've collated all the winners for you. So in order of how it happened, you had the Star Wars Living Card Game with Mike Kipra, who was running Scum ships, over Andy Hornby, who's actually from the UK. He was running Empire. In Armada, you had Norm Veer with Empire over Nathan Dahlberg and his Rebels, both those from the US. Imperial Assault was Daniel Taylor with his Scum over Paul Heaver's Scum. Paul Heaver was actually a past world champion. Imperial Assault, you had Daniel Taylor over... Sorry, that was in that one. Destiny, sorry, you had the very first World Championship crown for Destiny, which was Daniel Weiser with his Vader and Tusken Raider deck over Nick Obe and his Captain Phasma, Balatique, and First Order Stormtrooper build. Again, both those from the US. And then for X-Wing, you actually had an all-international world final with Justin Farr of Singapore with his double jump masters over the defending world champion Nand Torf from Belgium and his Rebels list. His Rebels list was actually quite interesting. It was an article on his 101 series on FFG's 101 series he was asked to do and participate in, which was he wrote a list using only $100 worth of ships, and he tweaked it slightly, brought it to Worlds, and got all the way to the final table, to defend his title. So yeah, it was a good weekend for the Star Wars Worlds in total. We had I think it was 3 or 4 out of the 5 new champions were crowned. We did have, as I said, an all-international final for X-Wing. So it's the first time a non-US system wasn't actually in the world final, which is good. It's getting the international reputation up of it. In fact, the defending world champion Nand Torf, who won last year, was the first international winner. Paul Heaver, who won who was in the world's final for Imperial Assault, was the champion before that. He won 3 world championships in a row, and he's American, and he had American before that. So you've had 5 world championships for X-Wing, and so the first 4 of those were US. So this is the 6th one. And now we've had 2 internationals in a row, so that was quite good. So overall, it was a very good weekend. FFG was streaming it over on Twitch, had a lot of followers, their Twitter was blowing up. And for anyone who loves tabletop gaming or card gaming, it was a very good weekend, except for one thing, Dialgate. Now, Dialgate is something very interesting now. For those of you who don't know how the game of X-Wing works, the way you maneuver your ships is you have a maneuver dial, which tells you which maneuver which ship can do, because both all ships have a set of maneuvers they can maneuver from. You get a maneuver templates of range 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of either straight maneuver, a banked maneuver, or a hard maneuver. And the types of maneuvers these ships can do are depicted on their dials. So the way that you have these dials is, especially if you get the fancy plastic ones they've done, because FFG do like to give you extra swag to go along with it, is you have a backing to the dial, your dial goes in, and you have a little indicator that shows you which maneuver you've chosen, and when you flip it over, you can see the entire maneuver dial. So instead of the usual one where it's just a gap where you can see which numbers are appearing, you can see the whole maneuver dial. So when you're trying to plan your maneuver and try to plan ahead and get everything you want done, you can see the entire maneuver dial at once. You don't have to keep on moving it around, and it helps you basically make a more informed decision. Now, what happened was you had on Gold Squadron on their podcast, they were covering the FFG Star Wars X-Wing World Championship from start to finish. Because FFG themselves were only doing top 16 because they had the other games to sort out. And what they had on one of their live streams was to me personally, absolutely disgusting behavior. Now, I'm an X-Wing player, as you guys know. I have played in a lot of tournaments. I've played in a lot coming up. Hence, what I reported on Yavin earlier in the year. I've got the European Championships coming up. I've got the National Championships coming up. Next weekend, the Store Championship season starts up. I'm a massive fan of it. I also play Destiny. I want to play Armada. I've played Imperial Assault. Apart from the living card game, I've tried I have tried or will be trying every single system on the FFG map so that I can report to you in full. However, what happened was on Gold Squadron's live stream, they didn't catch it, but the audience did. You had a player who had his maneuver dial set. He had all three set down. One was turned over because he'd done his maneuver. His opponent flipped their maneuver dial and was moving their ship. And what happened was, as I said, absolutely disgusting. The player picked up his dial, checked what he had done, and was watching what his opponent did, had his thumb, and moved the dial around, so when he flipped it back over, he was better than where he was, because he didn't predict his opponent's movement properly, so he went, you know what, I'm going to change it. And you could actually see the moment where he picks it up, thumbs through it, hides it, has his thumb ready to move, and then flips it over, moves it around, done. And what FFG did was release a statement afterwards that it didn't seem very malicious intent. However, it was a very clear cheating maneuver, so we gave him a loss in the next round. Now, I think that's a bit of a cop-out, to be honest. If you catch someone cheating, you don't give them a loss, you boot them out of the tournament, because a loss at Worlds, although is a bad thing, in the final, you had Nantorf on 10-1 and Justin Fu on 9-2. So you can lose a game and still get to the top table and win the World Championship. So that was nothing. I reckon they should have kicked him out, but that was what was known as dial game. It was something that was kicked up on a lot on the Facebook page and on Twitter, and FFG themselves. It was brought to their attention. It wasn't caught on the live stream by the commentators, because they do have a lot to keep on. They're talking about which maneuvers the people are doing, what they think they should do, what the lists are, and everything else. They have a lot to concentrate on. But yes, it was something that was very disgusting. Again, another reason why this episode is called A Wretched Hive is Scum and Villainy, because I think that person is scum. But hey-ho, that's just that's life. So yes, that was what was known as Dialgate. However, the rest of the World Championships was a good event. FFG do a lot for Star Wars. They have role-playing games as well, if you're into that, kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons style game. But the Worlds event is getting larger and larger. X-Wing is the most popular miniatures game in North America, and I think it's starting to become nearly the most popular miniatures game in the world, behind Games Workshop's Warhammer franchise. But yes, so if you enjoy tabletop games, if you want to get into it, enjoy card games like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, try Destiny. For Star Wars, try Armada, try Imperial Assault, try anything. You'll find that the community is very friendly and very forgiving unless you cheat. So yes, that was that. Yes, so that was that, gentlemen. Now we move on to our final piece of this evening, Cantina Talk. As I said, it's going to be a shorter episode tonight because there really isn't a huge amount to talk about. But tonight's Cantina Talk is something quite interesting. We're talking about which deleted scenes we liked and wish we were in the final films. I will start off with my personal favourite, which is from Return of the Jedi with Luke finishing his lightsaber. It's the only time in a film, until you saw it in Clone Wars, you actually would have seen anyone constructing a lightsaber. Now, it's also very interesting because it's on Tatooine, and his lightsaber is identical to Obi-Wan's, however, it's got a green blade instead of a blue, but that was one of the scenes that I really wish they included, because it also had a kind of a forced dialogue between Vader and Luke, and Vader reaching out to Luke, kind of a continuation from Episode 5, where he's trying to lure him over to the dark side, trying to lure him over to joining him in the Empire. And as I said, to see the lightsaber actually finish construction and see it ignite for the first time and have the little lights that you don't actually see, again, in the final film, you don't see the little arrows on the side light up. You see it in the deleted scene. I think that's personally one of my favourite scenes of all the time. I really wish they included it. Dave, I'll let you go second.
Yeah, I mean, mine. To be honest, when it came up that this is what we're going to be talking about, because we had a discussion what we should have. It took me a little while to actually think of what my scene would probably. But for me, it's the scene that was cut from The Empire Strikes Back, where they're captured inside the base, and I believe it's 3PO lets out those Wampers and allows them to get a hold of a legion of snowtroopers. Of course. So that is probably that one. One of the only other scenes, and I don't know if it's. End of episode 3, the Dagobah landing of Yoda is one I would have loved to have kept in. I think that was a really beautiful shot. And just love the value of, in episode 1, the scene with, I think in a fight in the street, and then him getting pulled to one side and just telling it, and it's Greedo, and he get told he's going to come to a bad end if he keeps doesn't get out of trouble. But yeah, I think definitely Empire 1 is probably my top pick for deleted scenes I would love to have been in the movie. George?
I've kind of got two. I'm laughing because one of them's awful. In Attack of the Clones, everyone's favorite Star Wars film, there is a wonderful deleted scene with Ki-Adi-Mundi, everyone's favorite egghead, and it was released in the Blu-rays that because at the end of episode 1, how did they deactivate all the droids? They blew up the gigantic ship. So what do they do in episode 2? Well, they sent Ki-Adi-Mundi up with a squad of people to take out a ship to see if it would turn off all the droids. And they obviously didn't realise that Ki-Adi-Mundi is also in Geonosis at the exact same time. So I would have loved to have seen that. It might have been like 2 tubes, but with Ki-Adi-Mundi and there being 2 more. But no, that would have been, if it had been another Jedi, it would have been in there. It would have been cool to see why didn't it happen this time around, obviously because they're better programmed. But yeah, Ki-Adi-Mundi could have been in 2 scenes. Amazing. And the other one is the more serious one. There's a scene episode, I mean, a lot was cut from episode 7. We've all heard stories. The one that always got me that I wish was in was Kylo Ren on the Millennium Falcon, because
Definitely.
you know, before listen, the one we get on the Blu-ray and the collector's Blu-ray, is such a cop-out. He just gets on the ship, looks round, and they cut away, and it's clear that they edited this deleted scene because they had more to show. And I completely understand that if maybe there's going to be some connection or some stuff used in the feature film. But I'd heard a lot of not rumors online, but once the film come out, the descriptions that, you know, Kylo Ren, once the Falcon lands and he senses it, he goes with a squad of snowtroopers to investigate the Falcon, see if they can find them. I read that there's going to be a reference to the floor panels coming up, but the key description was that Kylo was going to go in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon and have a moment to himself. But I'd also, I need to double check this. There was a rumor that there would have been a hologram played as well from when he was younger. Maybe that's too carried away, but it would have been a lovely scene, especially in the build-up to him killing his dad. That would have given this. That would have showed, like, when Han dies, it's I don't know what to do. I'm telling you bad. Stabs him. That scene would have kind of built up so that I don't know if I can do it, because he's just had this moment where he's remembering the past and what it was like clearly when he was a kid. And nope, they just jumped right to the thing. And I understand it for time, but if that was done properly, it would have been a fantastic scene, I think. And it's a shame that was cut from the film.
Right, talking of deleted scenes is also basically everything that was shown in the Rogue One trailers. Because those were effectively, here are your deleted scenes. So when there was no deleted scenes on the Blu-ray, you just watch the trailers. There you go, that's your deleted scenes. I must admit, I am, talking of Scum and being shafted in this episode, I might as well have a go at Lucasfilm in this one. Stop giving us crap Blu-rays. The Force Awakens, the collector's edition, the 3D version we got was terrible. They had about 10 minutes worth more in the deleted scenes and a couple more of the little short videos they'd done. And in terms of Rogue One, there was no deleted scenes, there's no commentary. Now, we have fixed the commentary side of things. We have done our own commentary. In fact, it's actually doing quite well, that video. But we've done our own commentary for Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, so go and check that out. So we have fixed that side of things for you, but please, for the love of God, give us better extras. We pay a lot of money. We keep paying you money. You know we will, but I reckon it's because there's going to be a big-ass box set at the end of the sequel trilogy and the spin-offs to give us all these extras that we're missing, and then we'll moan then that we didn't get them back now, but we're happy we got them there. And we know how we'll do it. We know exactly how this will go down. However, you know, we're talking about deleted scenes here, so yes, I would love to see the whole TIE Fighter versus Jyn bit, especially considering they had TIE Strikers in the actual film. So I wonder what that was about, because you can understand the alternate ending with them running across the beach to get to the other tower to send the message and all the rest of it. That bit, you can understand how they changed the ending and why they changed what they changed. However, just to see why there was a random TIE fighter versus Jin, now that would have been cool. Again, to go back onto more of the original trilogy and more of the other deleted scenes, I think one of my favorites, I have to agree with you, Dave, is the Wampa scene. I absolutely adore that deleted scene. I wish they'd kept that in. And yes, I think that's going to be it for this evening, I think, gentlemen. It's one of those things. We've done our hour, and we haven't got a huge amount to chat about this evening. We decided we were doing this canteen talk quite late, so we didn't really have too much time to do the research on this one. But yes, we must use this time actually to preview a few things we've got coming up. I know at the end of the month we've got a special 40th anniversary commentary we're doing for episode 4, A New Hope. That's something we cannot wait to do. We actually had a blast doing the album for Rogue One, so that's something we're very looking forward to. George, you want to preview something else we've got coming up?
Yes, at some point we have a review of Thrawn coming out again. At some point, I'm only on chapter 5 still, and that's going to be coming out. I feel like there's something else I meant to be saying, but I've completely forgotten it. But I will plug the interview on Friday morning that's going to happen on this channel. We're going to broadcast it live as we always do, so come check out that. And if I have forgotten something important, please remind me. Yes,
it's something else on another channel that we're doing.
Yeah, that. Oh, okay, I didn't know what I was doing that. Yeah, so obviously, I'm on Cinema Savvy. That's where we were for our first batch of episodes. That's where I have been for 2 years. It's literally the 2 anniversary last week. We have a show called Battle of the Brackets, and you know, us guys were on it in December during a Star Wars month. We did 2 special videos. Battle of the Brackets is essentially a game show. You get 4 picks, and there's 4 of you. So there's 16 picks. You narrow it down to 1 for a certain topic. For example, this week we did the best film we ever reviewed for our anniversary. We aim to do 1 a month, and you know, when these guys come on at Christmas, we did best Star Wars character, which was a blast, and best Star Wars moment. And in all honesty, that I think them videos laid the groundwork for us becoming our own thing, which was actually a blessing in disguise. And I had a chat with the other guys, Tate and Chris from the podcast, and I said, listen, it's the 40th anniversary of Star Wars at the end of the month. We need to do a special Battle of the Brackets because Battle of the Brackets is the best thing about our channel. I always say that on record. It's a very fun game show. I love it. And okay, but we've done Star Wars characters. We've done Star Wars moment. What's left? Star Wars song? No, because you can't argue it for 3 rounds on a Star Wars song. You'll run out of time. So we're doing the greatest secondary Star Wars character. And that's going to be essentially, you know, a secondary character. That's what it is. The Star Wars fans will know Phasma would count as a secondary character. Luke Skywalker would not. Mace Windu maybe could. I don't know. We haven't ironed out all the characters we're excluding, but it is only going to be in the films due to not everyone watching the animated shows. And it's going to be fun. It's secondary characters. It's going to be an absolute joke. There's going to be some abysmal picks that are going to be absolutely amazing to argue with.
R5D4. Don't bring it up. I know. What Phil's referencing there, last time we did this with the character, I put R5D4 as my joke pick for best character, and now wish I'd left him so I could have brought him into this, because I think it's a fairly good argument. But I've actually really looking forward to getting back on it. If you want to come and watch, I think it'll be a really, really fun bit of probably a couple of hours of a good argument for Star Wars.
Yeah, so we've got Phil judging it, Dave fighting it with myself and Chris and Tate, who will also be fighting. So we'll have more details on that nearer the time. We've got dates, times, this, that, the other. But it's going to be people chatting about Star Wars for 2 hours and arguing and having fun. So yeah, join us for that. I didn't expect to plug it tonight. But yeah, Battle of the Brackets, it's a good show. Come watch it on my channel.
Indeed. I think that's it for this evening. I don't think anything else to add. Gentlemen, anything else?
No, just again, look forward to Friday. We'll be grilling George about his documentary, which again is on the YouTube channel. Search for Building R2. The Facebook page is there. It's got hundreds and hundreds of likes. You should get on there. There's lots of information. Those top cards are awesome. Really should get on there as well. Look at all that. But yeah, look forward to seeing you all again very shortly.
Indeed. George?
That's everything I've got to say. Again, check out our commentary of Rogue One if you're bored. You've got a couple of hours to spare. Go stick it on with us talking over the top of it. It was good fun last week. And just go and get hyped for Battlefront 2. That's all I've got to say.
Indeed. So yes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. Go check out us on Facebook and on Twitter. Search for Ones with the Force at Ones with the Force. We are on there. We'll always reply to you. So I constantly say this, and I mean this. We want it to be a conversation. We've boosted a few posts on the Facebook page. We had a blast chatting to you on there. So go check us out over there. Check out my video unboxing the box if you want to see me get progressively sadder and sadder as I get along. Go check out Dave's video of Madame Two Swords. Actually, I'll say this for now. It's got some great tips on it as well. It's a really informative video as well as a fun video. Well done that one, Dave. We both George and I love it. Go check out Building R2. You'll find it on Facebook, and I think you're on Twitter. Are you on Twitter as well, George? For that one? Or
no,
just
Facebook.
Cool. We've got the interview coming up on Friday for that. We always look forward to that. We've got so much more coming up, and there's so much more that I want to tell you that we've got in the works, but we're not ready to tell you yet because I haven't worked out all the details for it. But once we do, we'll be announcing it shortly. But yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, come back for more. We've been Ones of the Force, but the Force of ours be with you. Good night.